Stop. These coins could be hidden treasure. Do not spend them. Check your pocket now, because what looks like an ordinary Jefferson nickel might actually be silent fortune hiding in plain sight. Nobody talks about these, yet collectors are fighting behind closed doors, paying real auction shock money. You could be spending life-changing coins without even thinking. And here's the scary part. Each coin we reveal gets rarer, more dangerous to ignore, and more valuable. So stay with me. First up, you've seen this coin. You've touched it. You might have even handed it to a cashier without a second thought. And that's exactly why this is dangerous. The 1970D Jefferson nickel is one of those quiet coins that doesn't scream value, but that silence, that's where the hidden wealth lives. Right now, someone, somewhere, is holding one worth tens of thousands, and they don't even know it. Do not spend this coin. Let me pull you into 1970 for a second, because this year wasn't calm. America was under economic pressure, inflation creeping in, the Vietnam War draining resources, and the US. Mint was under stress to produce massive amounts of coinage quickly. That pressure created something collectors obsess over today: subtle imperfections, rushed strikes, and overlooked details that turned ordinary nickels into silent fortune. Now look closely at the coin itself. On the front, you've got Thomas Jefferson's profile, calm, almost too calm, facing left, with the word Liberty and the year 1970 stamped beside him. But here's where things get intense: that tiny D mint mark sitting near the date. Denver minted this coin, but not all 1970D nickels are equal. Some were struck under extreme dye fatigue, creating textures and surfaces collectors hunt like treasure. Flip it over, and you'll see Monticello, the presidential home, etched with surprising detail. The steps, the pillars, the symmetry, but on rare examples, those steps appear unusually defined or oddly worn in specific patterns. That's not damage, that's character. That's history frozen in metal. And collectors, they stare at those steps like it's a code waiting to be cracked. This coin isn't flashy. It's made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighing exactly 5 grams, with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. It feels ordinary in your hand, smooth, slightly thick, with a familiar weight you've probably ignored your entire life. But that's the trap, because inside that ordinary feel could be serious money. Here's where most people mess up. They clean the coin. They think they're making it look better. No, the moment you clean it, you destroy the original toning. And with it, you erase thousands of dollars in value. That natural darkness, that slight dirt, those uneven shades, that's what collectors want. That's proof the coin survived untouched. Never clean this coin. And survival, that's the real story. These coins were used, abused, tossed into jars, scraped across counters. Finding one today in fine condition, where details are still visible, but it shows honest wear, is already rare. But finding one with the right strike quality, the right surface, the right untouched look, that's where the price explodes. Now let's talk obsession. Collectors don't just like this coin, they chase it. They look for tiny details most people miss. The sharpness of Jefferson's hair, the clarity of Monticello's steps, the exact placement and shape of that D mint mark. One tiny difference. And suddenly, what you thought was 5 cents turns into a silent fortune. Auction rooms get quiet when one of these shows up. Not loud, not flashy, just focused. Bidders lean in. They wait. Then, suddenly, aggressive offers start flying. Because they know something most people don't. These coins are disappearing. People spend them every day. Supply is shrinking. Demand, it's only getting stronger. Right now, in today's market, A 1970D Jefferson nickel in fine condition has reached jaw-dropping levels, up to $80. Zeroth. Let that sink in. A coin you could still find in circulation, worth more than a brand new car. This is not fiction. This is happening. If you find one, stop immediately. Do not spend this coin. Do not clean it. Handle it carefully by the edges and get it professionally graded. That single step, grading, can mean the difference between a few dollars and life-changing money. Most people skip this and they lose everything. And here's a small tip collectors won't openly tell you. Patience creates wealth in this game. The ones who hold these coins, who wait, who understand the market, they're the ones quietly building fortunes while everyone else keeps spending theirs. But don't relax yet, because what comes next is even bigger. The next coin isn't just rare. It's the kind of discovery that makes collectors panic. And once you see it, you'll never look at your change the same way again. You're about to see something that most people completely overlook, and that's exactly why it's dangerous. This coin doesn't stand out. It doesn't shine. It doesn't demand attention. And yet, it's sitting in pockets, drawers, and loose change jars right now, quietly holding a value that can change everything. The 1980 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark is one of those silent traps. People ignore it and lose a fortune. Do not spend this coin. Now here's where it gets intense. The year 1980 wasn't just another year, it was a breaking point. Inflation was exploding, interest rates were out of control, and the U.S. economy was under serious strain. The mint was under pressure to keep coins flowing into circulation fast. That pressure led to rushed production, overworked dies, and subtle inconsistencies that most people never notice, but collectors absolutely obsess over. And here's the twist. This coin has no mint mark. That means it came from Philadelphia. But in 1980 something unusual was happening. The absence of a mint mark wasn't just normal, it became a focal point. Because certain batches from Philadelphia were struck under conditions that created surfaces, textures, and strike qualities that are now incredibly rare in surviving examples. Look at the front of the coin. Jefferson's portrait is there, steady and familiar, with "In God We Trust," stretching along the left side, and "Liberty" followed by the date 1980 on the right. But don't just glance at it, study it. The sharpness of his hair, the depth of the lettering, the smoothness of the fields. These tiny details are where the hidden wealth lives. Flip it over and you'll see Monticello again, but this time pay attention differently. The building isn't just a design, it's a test. The steps, the columns, the fine lines. On rare surviving coins, these features appear with a balance of wear and clarity that collectors go crazy for. Too worn? Value drops. Too perfect? Suspicious. But that perfect middle ground? That's where serious money is hiding. Physically, it feels like any other nickel. About 5 grams in weight. Roughly 21.2 millimeters in diameter. A thickness that feels familiar between your fingers. A solid, slightly heavy presence. That's what makes this so dangerous. You would never guess you're holding something this valuable. It blends in. It hides. It waits. Made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, this coin was never supposed to be special. It was built for everyday use. But the conditions of 1980, the economic stress, the production demands, the human element, turned some of these into accidental treasures. And over time, as millions were spent, damaged, or destroyed, the survivors became rare. Here's where people make a massive mistake. They try to fix the coin. They clean it. They polish it. They wipe away the very thing that gives it value. Listen carefully. Never clean this coin. That natural toning, that slight darkness, those uneven shades, they are proof of authenticity. Once they're gone, the silent fortune disappears with them. Collectors don't just look at this coin, they study it. They hunt for the exact feel of the surface, the way light reflects off untouched metal, the precise alignment of the text. The absence of the mint mark becomes an obsession, because in a sea of ordinary nickels, finding one with the right combination of wear, strike, and preservation is like finding hidden treasure in plain sight. And here's what's happening behind the scenes. Collectors aren't selling these. They're holding them, locking them away, waiting. Because they know something most people don't, the supply is shrinking every single day. Every time someone spends one of these without checking, the population drops. And that makes the remaining coins even more valuable. Auction behavior around this coin is different. It's not loud. It's not chaotic. It's calculated. Quiet bidders watching closely, waiting for the right moment. And then suddenly, sharp, aggressive offers. Because when the right 1,980 no mint mark nickel appears, everyone in that room knows exactly what it is, a life-changing opportunity. Right now, in today's market, this coin has reached values up to $60,000 in fine condition. Let that hit you. $60,000 for a coin most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up. This is not fiction. This is real money hiding in everyday change. So what should you do? First, check immediately. Look at every 1,980 nickel you have. Confirm there's no mint mark. Study the details. Do not rush. Do not assume. And if you think you've found something special, stop handling it carelessly. Get it professionally graded. That single decision can protect its value and unlock its full potential. And remember this, patience is power here. The people who win in this space aren't the ones who rush to sell. They're the ones who understand what they're holding and wait. Because as fewer of these coins survive, their value doesn't just increase, it explodes. Most people will watch this and still ignore their change. They'll keep spending these coins like they're worthless. But now you know better. Now you understand the risk and the opportunity. And if you think these two coins were shocking, what we're uncovering next will completely change the way you look at every coin forever. Because there are still more out there, rarer, more valuable, and even more dangerous to ignore. Stay with crazy valuable coins, because the next discovery might already be in your pocket.